Okay, Christina here to listen to some music. And today's music selection is Life During Wartime by Talking Heads. Okay, I have heard of this group before. I know their song, The Burning Down the House, and Watching the Days Go By or something like that. A lot of fun. So I know those two songs, but I've never really gotten to know the group. And apparently they were a big influence on another group that I really do know very well, which is Radiohead. And so I've always been interested to learn more about Talking Heads. So here we are. This group came out in 1975. This song is from 1979, I believe. So somewhat early in their career. Obviously, they were around in the 80s because that's where I sort of remember them from. And I'm just, like I said, really excited to get to know this group finally. And why are we doing all of this? I am a professional classically trained musician, instrumentalist, vocalist, composer, and professor. So we talk about all the different aspects of this music, how it's written, the different instruments, how it relates to us, how it makes us feel. Why is it good? Why is it not so good? So, without any further delay, let's listen. Okay, I'm really excited about this one. Finally get to know this group. Here we go. Okay, so I'm hearing verse and refrain and the chorus and all that stuff here. This is really funky. I like it. This song is super energetic. There's just this constant beat, just this perpetual motion. Very interesting. Again, it's really funky, kind of quirky. I hope those are good words to describe this band. But I'm wartime. I'm thinking something deep behind here. So this may be one of those songs where the overall soundscape of it, the aesthetic of it is not supposed to be super heavy, but the meaning behind it is, and that almost gives it sort of a funky juxtaposition there where light music, heavy meaning. We'll see. I think I'm going to check out the lyrics right now. Heard of a van, packed up and ready to go. Lived in a brownstone, lived in a ghetto. I've lived all over this town. Okay, so this ain't no party, this ain't no disco, this ain't no fooling around. Lovey-dovey. Why stay in college? Why go to night school? Gonna be different this time. Do we dress like students? We dress like housewives, or in a suit and a tie. The burning keeps me alive. Okay. Well, this is interesting because the couple of songs, like the two songs that I do know from this group, one is Burning Down the House and the other one is Lifetime, Letting the Days Go By. You may ask yourself, it's that song. And I know that song because it was covered by a different band that I really love, PM Dawn. For those of you that know, you know. But this is interesting because this is talking about both of those, and it's sort of like both having to do with conflict within ourselves and conflict with society. So I'm beginning to think that maybe that is a common theme that this band writes about. Very cool. Sort of just asking why. What is the meaning of life? You know, no big deal. Okay. Because of that, I am grateful for the light music over the top. It's almost an oxymoron of sorts. So, all right, now I've got the lyrics. I think I'm catching on here. Let's back it up a little bit and continue on.
You don't even know my real name. High on the hillside, the bucks are loading. Everything's ready to roll. I sleep in the daytime, I work in the nighttime. I might not ever get home. This ain't no party, this ain't no disco, this ain't no fooling around. This ain't the mud club or CBGB. I ain't got time for that now. Heard about Houston, heard about Detroit, heard about Pittsburgh, PA. You ought to know not to stand by the window. Somebody see you up there. I got some groceries, some peanut butter to last a couple of days. But I ain't got no speakers, ain't got no headphones, ain't got no records to play. Why stay in college? Why go to night school? Gonna be different this time. Can't write a letter, can't send no postcard. I ain't got time for that now. Trouble in transit, got through the roadblock. We blended in with the crowd. We got computers, we're tapping phone lines. I know that that ain't allowed. We dress like students, we dress like housewives, or in a suit and a tie. I changed my hairstyle so many times now, I don't know what I look like. You make me shiver, I feel so tender. We make a pretty good team. Don't get exhausted, I'll do some driving. You ought to get you some sleep. Burned all my notebooks, what good are notebooks? They won't help me survive. My chest is aching, burns like a furnace. The burning keeps me alive.
Okay, that was interesting. The song faded out and the lyrics were not repeating. It was still fresh words happening there and it just faded away. So, bye. Sort of like the unending question. We're not going to answer these questions. Okay. Wow, identity, changing your hairstyle, wearing different clothes, identity crisis, talking about conflict around you, talking about conflict within you, and it's just like it never stops. The song just never stopped. Like, really didn't stop at the end. The opposite of not stopping. It really kept going and was open-ended. What in the world? Wow, this group really is quirky, but I love it. Very creative in very clever ways. Really subtle. And almost like pushing norms. Like, what should a song actually be? So I heard some verses and the chorus coming back. There was just a little bit of that, but it was a little amorphous, especially on how it ended. But I like that. You can't have everything wrapped up in a perfect little package with a bow on it, you know? And it's not like they have to be amorphous just for the sake of being that way. It's more like it just fits with what they're trying to talk about. So I like what these talking heads have to say. But what a funny, quirky little song. But it's heavy, so you can't just call it a little song. But it is a little song. Well, I love that. So this style to me sounded a little more 70s than 80s, but it was like right on the fence. Like I was hearing a little bit of sort of synth noises, just a tiny, tiny bit, like maybe with a synthesizer organ kind of sound in the background. But a lot of the instrumentation was more like 70s rock band. I think there was a shift happening here as we were headed into the synth era of the 80s, and I know the 70s with prog rock, it kind of catapulted us into there, but I feel like they kind of sit on the edge of the fence. I'm kind of like teetering between both sides here. And from like the Burning Down the House song, I just remember it being more synthy and just really heavy and cool, and also very repetitive. So this was extremely repetitive, but I love it. It's such a good catch and so many words. So, you can sing along with this song, but you got to work on memorizing all those words all the way to the bitter end. Okay. Then there was an aesthetic in here that was like very much like syncopated, almost like on the offbeats. So if you have 1, 2, 3, 4, it's like the in-betweens. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and to me that was almost like reggae. So are they influenced by reggae? I don't recognize that from the Burning Down the House song, but I definitely sensed that here. But it was just super fast. Just a little hint of that flavor. But I don't know their background. Like, where are they from? So I know they started in 1975. Let me just see where they're from. New York City. So that's what they were talking about. The Brownstones and the Ghetto. Okay. New wave. Okay. Punk, art rock, funk, world music. All right. So that was just there in that first paragraph. I had to just take a look. I love to get just a little bit. I'll either have other people tell me or I'll look just a tiny bit, but not too much, and have everyone out there in the comments sort of fill in the blanks. I love reading all the comments and learning all of this stuff. But I needed to know right now, it was right there in front of me, like, what was this fence line they're sitting on? So that, I think I was right. But 75, I would have guessed that they were in the 80s, but very, very solidly into the 70s. And so then I just saw David Byrne, right? Byrne. His voice is so iconic to me. And I think it's because I've heard it from the other song, like when I was a kid. That song was just kind of always around. And I think there was an iconic video that went with it. Was there like a face projected on the side of a building or something? Or was it on the road? I don't know. By the time I was allowed to watch MTV, that video was not played very much, but so I caught like some of the late 80s. Like I saw Thriller as a little kid, which terrified me, but then like late 80s and then some early 90s videos I got to see. That was my MTV phase. So this was obviously before that. But I'm just thinking of that iconic voice. Like it's just so iconic. That's sort of the word. Iconic and quirky. Those are the two words, I guess, that are coming up in my mind here. Let's go back to hear some of this iconic voice of David.
This ain't no party. This ain't no disco. This ain't no fooling around. No time for dancing. More lovey-dovey. I ain't got time for that now.
Okay, so that right there, that quirkiness right there, almost... Well, gosh, that almost sounds like stuff out of the 50s. Like Tutti Frutti, something like that. I love how they are so eclectic. Like they just take all of the styles and mush them together. And he's just not afraid at all to be his own unique self. So when I picture that video from the Burning Down the House song, and I just picture that face, that I think that was his, or maybe it was all the band members, but there was one face that was projected somewhere in the video, and that's the person singing, and it's very stoic. But the person singing there is definitely not stoic. I mean, listen to this. Okay, so now there's that more calm version of his voice, but he wears so many hats in this song. Okay, let's move forward where we can really hear some of that sound on the offbeats that reminded me a little bit of reggae.
You ought to know not to stand by the window.
It's the guitar.
Somebody see you up there. I got some groceries, some peanut butter to last a couple
Okay, so you hear peanut butter. You hear, getting haircuts and, what if it seems like a silly song, but it's not. So I think I totally get this. I hope I do. I hope I'm getting their vibe, and I love it. Really, really unique. So let's go back to the beginning and see. I just want to remind myself how this fun little journey started here. Yeah, so there's that really energetic beat, and then it's like brass in there, but it's synthesizer. Those aren't real brass instruments as far as I can tell. And I think that was part of the synth sound that I was talking about. But there's just, again, this perpetual motion. It's relentless. So maybe it's, talking about the grind of life and not really finding your way and having to find your identity and, all of these talking heads, right? Take your pick, right? All right. These guys are so cool. I love it. Okay. That was Life During Wartime by Talking Heads. I don't know how popular this song was. Was it on the radio a lot back then? I don't know. But will this go on my playlist? Yes, I think it absolutely will. And I think I might need to bring up Burning Down the House and maybe the other Lifetime, the Lifetime song, whatever it is. That you may ask yourself. So many questions. This group has so many questions to ask throughout their music. All right. Who burned down the house? I don't know. All right. It's one of those groups that I've always known has existed, and I just heard samples of them, and it's one of those that I've always felt like I would probably like them and like their messaging, and the sound, but I just never took a step forward. So I am happy to do so now here on the channel. So thank you for walking forward in this journey with me. This is already a lot of fun. I have the feeling that there's a lot more from this group that I'm going to have to get to know and maybe even revisit the two that I sort of already know, because this is just too delicious. It's again, quirky and fun, but really still substantial. So yeah, this is going on my playlist. I'm going to listen to this one. It's got a lot of energy, fun to sing along with once you catch all the words all the way to the fade out. And it just makes me want to hear more. Like, what else do they have to offer here? So this is a lot of fun. I can't wait to hear more. Put in the comments what else I should be listening to with this group. Should I go back and revisit those two that I kind of already know? Maybe I need to go back and listen to the Burning Down the House song, but with the video. That'll bring back some excellent nostalgia for me, I think. All right, I got to get to know this group more. So let me know. And until we continue, just remember that you don't have to be perfect. Just be okay. And keep listening.